Today is a rare eclipse by the moon of the sun with spiritual effects and powers involved. We have asked the ancestresses for permission to hold this ceremony. Everything is heightened during this brief and unusual moment. Even for those of us not in the path of totality here in Southern California, we are still affected. Have a journal, if you can. Lots of fear-based information flying around, but all this means is that this is a time of heightened energies. So it can be heightened negativity, but also heightened positivity. So that's what we focus on. This path of totality for this eclipse is much, much wider than 2017. It's passing over more cities and densely populated areas. It's interesting that people are doing the exact opposite of what ancient wisdom tells us to do. They are traveling, they are going to places to gather by the thousands and hoop and holler and have a big party and drink. The opposite of the spirit of the eclipse for thousands and thousands of years. It's important to maintain a reverential spirit. In a moment, we are going to notice the eclipse beginning in this area. We are dropping in to that. There are 5 stages of this eclipse according to NASA, and we will focus on 5 areas. The eclipse is telling us about the powerful dark. So this is Mother Nature reminding us of our power. We do well to surrender, to go within, to allow her to teach us, to help us grow. The eclipse is beginning now in this hemisphere. We enter the penumbra of woman's power. The moon is in its new moon phase, amplifying the power of the dark even more for women, those of us who hold the chalice called the womb. If you've lost your womb to surgery, you still have your subtle body womb. Right now is when the moon first appears to take a bite out of the sun. At this initial phase, and you can get your journal ready now, we reflect on our women's mission, our purpose in this lifetime. Why are we here? What is our responsibility here? What are we most interested in? How can we best serve life? What do we choose to do while we are in this body, on this earth? And this phase represents the truth that our consciousness is in both the seen and the unseen worlds, and both are real, both are important. We know we lead the most fulfilling life possible when we commit to a purpose while our consciousness is focused in this body. So as we head into the dark of the eclipse, we welcome whatever it is that our deep dark self knows and can teach us. These are questions you may consider and answer in your own growing, dark, internal space. What is my purpose here in this body, this lifetime? What do I feel my responsibility is to life, and how can I best serve life? So meditate on these things, or use your journal to write your own insights about however you're feeling at this moment. What is my purpose here in this body, this lifetime? What do I feel my responsibility is? And how can I best serve life? What is the eclipse telling us? The sun the primary source of light and heat and life on this earth, is for a moment being eclipsed. An eclipse comes from a word meaning to forsake or to abandon. It is the time the dark reminds us of how her power is essential to life herself. So how is the dark powerful? Most of the universe is dark matter or dark energy. The physical, shown in the light, is just a small percentage of the totality of what is. Clearly, the dark is critical to the structure of the cosmos as we know it. The dark is essential for the well-being of all creatures, including humans. We need the dark to rest and to restore ourselves. A form of torture used by men is to leave the lights on brightly all the time. Being constantly in the light with no dark to rest in periodically makes people unbalanced and eventually mentally ill. Plants receive energy from the sun during the light, but they actually grow in the dark of night, and so do we. We grow in wisdom in the dark. But the most important reason of all is never mentioned. The dark is where you have greater agency for consciousness. Compared to the light, the dark is the state where you can experience more freedom of thought, more choice of how you will decide to focus your consciousness. Why is this? Because the light demands that we, to some extent, leave our internal selves. This is not bad, obviously. We must have the light to live. But this aspect of drawing us out of ourselves is something to pay attention to. There must be a balance of light and dark in our lives. And the light is where we see all things outside ourselves, what is all around us. You see the dishes, you see the dog needing to be walked, the pile of laundry to be folded. You see your spouse you had an argument with this morning, and when you see them, maybe you suddenly remember how mad you are. When you look at things with your eyes, your vision through your eyes leaps outside your body, grabbing various things with all their associations in your mind, pulling your focus to things external to yourself. You see the outfit you want online. You see the sofa you want in the furniture store. You see the person at the party you want to talk to. Constantly you see things, and so constantly you are pulled to something outside yourself. In the dark, however, you see nothing. You are given none of those triggers. In the dark, all you can do is go inward to find what is there inside you. In the dark. In the dark, there is no outside place to go. In the dark, you are given the gift of many fewer triggers. Nothing but dark space to contemplate what it is you choose to want, to think, how you want to be, what state you want to live in. This is the most important thing, but most people don't spend much time each day in their own internal dark, feeling what is. Only in the dark can we focus on what is most important. If you dismiss the dark, if you dishonor the dark within with your lack of attention, you dishonor what may be the most important part of yourself. The moon is crossing the face of the sun. We are coming to what NASA calls the second stage of the eclipse. And they actually call it, scientists call it, the diamond ring. When the moon has almost entirely covered the sun, but not quite, and there is a bright single shine offside, the black of the moon in the center of the ring, and the sun's corona visible all around the black, looking just for a moment like a brilliant diamond ring shining in the sky. And that's what's happening about now for people in the totality. We are in the second stage, the diamond ring for us of commitment. We ask ourselves, what am I committed to? What is my commitment to life herself? We remember that our first commitment must always be to ourselves and to our own wholeness. With this ring of commitment, we must marry ourselves first. Then and only then do we have the power to serve all life. And right now in the sky, the planet Venus, along with other planets, but the planet Venus now is showing herself in the vault of heaven. Venus is now in her beauty, visible 13 degrees west-southwest of the sun. And Jupiter, which is much larger, is also now appearing 30 degrees to the northeast of the sun. But Venus is outshining Jupiter 5 times as brightly. And we know Venus, astrologically, is all about love and beauty, harmony, pleasure. She's the ancient great mother of the Mediterranean area, venerated for many thousands of years, associated, of course, with the female and the queen. She represents women. She speaks to us of relationship, art, creativity, and luxury. Venus encourages our artistic abilities, our sense of personal style. Venus shows us how to be committed to life, to be in love with life. And this is why Aphrodite, or Venus, is on our eclipse altar that you see there. As a sovereign woman, as a queen, what is our realm? What are we 100% responsible for? Are we committed to caring for what we are 100% responsible for? At this second stage, the diamond ring of commitment, we ask these questions and we answer them in our own beautiful dark space. Am I in love with life? If I'm not, why? What do I choose to commit to? What does it mean to me to marry myself first? Do I need more love, more beauty, more pleasure, more harmony in my life? What can I do to invite these things? So meditate on these things. What does it mean to marry myself first? Am I in love with life? If not, why? And any other questions you may ask yourself about your feeling of commitment to this body, this lifetime, this realm, this earth, and your own personal realm, what you are 100% responsible for. The altar here at the center And we're in this reverential space, quiet and peaceful, going inward in the dark. I noticed that some Hopi friends of mine, indigenous Hopi, had posted online not to, please don't post any pictures of the moon, because in their teaching, they do not go look at the moon. In their teaching, it's like it's a private moment between the moon and the sun, and you're kind of not supposed to watch, which is sort of the opposite of what many Americans are doing, is traveling and going. And we talked in the beginning about how this is a time to be quiet and go inward, not necessarily go outside and look at what's happening, but try to feel what's happening within you. That's a patriarchal reversal, isn't it? To have millions of people do the very thing that ancient wisdom says not to do, which is travel and go to a big party. We are a small group, but we understand. We are goddess women. We understand the indigenous wisdom of going within. This is not a time, it's not party time. For us, everything is essentially female. Of course, masculine exists, and it was created by the female. Goddess is everything, and she includes the masculine, which she made. Sometimes men don't care to hear that, but that's our belief. Moon is moving across the face of the sun. The sky is very gray, like it's going to rain, and yet there are no clouds. So just feel the light wherever you are, whatever area of the world you're in. As spiritual women, we can feel the energies happening. We don't have to actually see anything. The crown of the queen, called the corona, is going to appear in the sky for those of us in the totality. Corona is Latin for crown. And in Roman times, this was particularly bestowed for excellent service to the people. So if someone gave excellent service to the people, they were given a crown. And that's what the queen is, the queen archetype. We have the maiden, the mother, the queen, the wise woman, crone, and the fifth one, the holy woman, or hag, from hagia, meaning holy. So we have the 5 archetypes, and the queen is one of the archetypes. She's the governor. She gathers the others together and knows when to let each dance in your life with their set of powers. So the queen is the leader of the people. She doesn't have to be a visible leader. She can lead simply by example. She serves her chosen group, yet she is not a servant. The corona of the eclipse represents the crown of the queen and woman, holding the good powers of light and dark. The maiden, springtime, the mother, summer, they are of the light. The wise woman, crone, and the holy woman, hag, of winter, are of the dark. The queen in the middle, autumn, is the bridge of the heart between light and dark. The maximum for this eclipse is coming now. This is the most powerful stage. This is totality, maximum darkness. So those in the path of totality will be in a moment experiencing the full eclipse of darkness. The eclipse is radiating to us her good dark power most strongly now. The umbra enters the U.S. at the Mexican border, just south of Eagle Pass, Texas. You've seen in the news the conflict that has been happening in Eagle Pass over the last few months with migrants. Since the path of totality is happening right now, it's over Eagle Pass, we are praying for these people. We make a prayer together as goddess women. We see that town that has been filled with conflict, and disagreement, upset and violence. And we, from our hearts, send loving energy, beauty, good power. Let the women of Eagle Pass rise up and bring calm and justice and peace and common sense to Eagle Pass. Let the men see the truth that women are the peace bringers. Let the men willingly step aside for the women to lead during this time of chaos and conflict. Let the women come forward. We see it now. We see it happening now in Eagle Pass, Texas. We see every woman, no matter who she is, no matter what her so-called status is in that city, her culture, we see her body, each woman's body, filled with good female power for justice, for compassion, for love, for fairness, for common sense. We see her expanding, each woman in Eagle Pass, getting larger in her aura, feeling her spine straighten and get stronger. Her shoulders are back. She knows she is the spiritual leader for this town. And all things are a spiritual matter, ultimately. Even if she takes no action, if she wishes to, each woman is sovereign. If she wishes to avail herself of the energy of this prayer, as it surrounds her, she can take it in if she wishes and choose to do something with it. Something that brings peace, something that brings beauty, something that brings compassion, something that brings justice, something that brings harmony to Eagle Pass. Say silently or quietly under your breath, women bring harmony to Eagle Pass. 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 It is so, it is so, it is so. And so it is. At this maximum, we consider spirituality, which in our theology, which we spell with an A, spell check will correct me, and then I will have to correct it back. Theology with an A, meaning goddess theology. Our spirituality is nothing more or less than our relationship with all life, with all that is. So at this point in the sacred dark, we reflect on our understanding of oneness. We understand that we are an expression of the one there is only one of. As plants grow in the dark every night, so do we grow in our understanding in this, the darkest moment. And a hummingbird just came and looked at us. These questions, with your journal, can be asked and answered in your own beautiful dark space in this powerful moment of totality. What is my relationship with all that is? What is my relationship with all life? What is my understanding of Source, of the divine? How can I welcome more good dark in my life to help me grow even more in my understanding? What is my relationship with all life? What is my understanding of Source, of the divine? How do I perceive Source? How can I welcome more good dark in my life to grow in my understanding? The totality is happening now, right now, at this moment. Meditate on these things in this powerful, dark totality. Use your journal or simply consider your own insights on these things. This is the height of the eclipse. This is the totality at this moment. The temperature is dropping all over the United States as the totality eclipses the sun. Even here, the temperature has dropped a bit. We are in the most powerful point of the eclipse. So use this time, just a few more minutes, to go even deeper into all your journal questions. How can I welcome more good dark in my life to grow in my understanding? What is my understanding of Source, of the divine? What is my relationship with all that is, with all life? What do I choose to commit to? What does it mean to me to marry myself first? Do I need more love, beauty, pleasure, and harmony in my life? And what can I do to invite these things? Am I in love with life? If not, why? What is my purpose here in this body, this lifetime? What do I feel my responsibility is and isn't? Have I taken on responsibilities that are not mine to bear? How can I best serve life? Go even deeper if you can, dropping into your deep belly, letting your feet be in connection with the floor. Feel yourself resting in the arms of Mother. Gravity is sitting in the lap of Great Mother holding you. Whenever you feel gravity, whenever you feel yourself seated, that's Mother Earth holding you to her. Her arms around you, holding you. Were there no gravity, you'd go flying off into space, but Mother Earth is always holding you comfortably. She holds you just enough to keep you safe, but not so much that you can't move around freely. She knows what you need. So let yourself drop in even deeper to the chalice of your wisdom, your womb. If you lost your womb to surgery, it's okay. It does not matter. You still have your subtle body womb, and you always will. You drop into that space, that place, that wisdom that still exists for you, that you carry, a place that men do not have. Women are wise in a way that men, however wise they are, cannot be, because we carry this chalice. This is the womb of the universe. There is as much space between the atoms in your womb as there are between the stars in the universe. You have a universe in your belly. Drop even more deeply into it, in this, the totality, and see what is there for you. And draw that to a graceful conclusion. You can always go back to it later. In a few minutes, the moon is going to go into the fourth stage, leaving the totality. She's moving across the face of the sun. And so we are coming in a moment to this fourth stage, which is about relationship, our connection to others, the love in our lives, the love we give, and the love we allow ourselves to receive. The eclipse is beginning to brighten as the moon moves across the face, leaving totality, bringing the sun back with good expectations. And we now head back to the light, the holy light, having allowed ourselves time in the sacred dark. And you can always return to this dark space within you every day for as long as you like, as long as you need. We've experienced the sacred dark, and now we head back towards the holy light. And these are questions that you might wish to ask and answer in your own beautiful, brightening space. How do I, as a woman, an individual woman, unique in my own way, how do I show my light? How do I show my love? How do I show my caring for others? Am I able to both receive as well as give love freely? This is a great difficulty for many women. We have been conditioned to give love freely without boundaries, which is not a good idea. But we are trained in patriarchy to just give and give and give and give without boundaries. We know how to give love. Some of us do not know how to hold good boundaries, although we're learning. And some of us might still have some trouble receiving love. So what does it look like for you to receive love? What does that really look like? What does that feel like? What action would be taking place in your life if you were in a magnetizing mode, a receiving mode, where you were doing nothing but opening your arms to what is being drawn towards you? Are you able to receive love completely and fully? Can you receive a compliment? Or do you shunt it away? If someone compliments you on your appearance or your clothing, can you just say, "Thank you"? Or do you deflect? If someone tries to offer their help, do you always say, no, I'm all right"? Some of us have a lot of trouble with this, and her initials might be Ava Park. I know what my issues are. So receiving is a very big deal for women. A very big deal. Something we really need to learn to do. So ask yourself, are you able to receive as well as give love freely? And finally, what are my expectations for relationships? What are my expectations for each of my relationships? Are they being met? Have I made myself clear? Have I held corrective boundaries when I feel that my boundaries have been crossed or violated, even in a small way? Do I feel disrespected in any relationship? What can I do about that? What boundary must I hold now to bring health and balance and true love to my relationships? Because true love is not just giving and giving and giving unendingly. True love is something much deeper, receiving as well as giving. So how do I show my light? my love, my caring for others? Am I able to receive as well as give love freely? What are my expectations for relationships? Meditate on these things or use your journal to write your insights. Things are brightening. They're in balance now between light and dark. You have the benefit of both the dark and the light to illuminate and guide you. And drawing that to a graceful conclusion, we are leaving the fourth stage, which was the stage of the moon departing totality. And in a moment we are going to arrive at the fifth and final stage of the eclipse, which will be full brightness once again. The moon leaves the face of the sun completely, and the sun returns in her fullness, and brightness abounds, and the eclipse will be complete. The sun returns, and with it, increased energy for our own personal abundance and health. Abundance is, yes, our money, but also all of our resources. Our ability to live well, our ability to gather up easily what we need every day. True abundance can happen even if we don't make much money. We can feel abundant because our needs are met, because we have what we need and our needs are not overly extensive. So do we live in a state of abundance? And abundance is also about our health, our bodies, our mental state, the balance of light and dark needed to be healthy. And we know that all the experts are telling us that the mental state of young people is as poor as it's been in many decades, and that they're very concerned with the mental state of young people. There are 4 cycles that repeat over and over. These are cycles for civilization in a patriarchy. They happen all over the world in a patriarchy, and right now we do have a worldwide male-centric, male-dominated form of authority. So we all live in a patriarchy, but that does not mean that we do not have our own power to live well within it. So there are 4 cycles. There's the high, when everything is going pretty well. Institutions are strong, like right after World War II, which was the last crisis. Then the next state is the awakening, this is the 60s, when the next generation born, each cycle takes 20 to 25 years, so it's a generation. The next generation is the awakening. They question the institutions of their parents. I remember I was young during that time. Don't trust anybody over 30. Remember that? Right. That goes about 25 years. Then the next phase is the unraveling. And the unraveling, most people don't recognize that society is starting to unravel. Our unraveling started around 2008 with the financial crisis. And people didn't, they were hurt by it badly, many of them, but they didn't really think society was breaking down necessarily. They thought something was going to, recover and be okay. The 4th cycle is what we're actually in now, which is crisis. This is normal. This is to be expected. This is what every culture that's a patriarchy goes through. The wonderful thing about it is you can see it happening. Crisis is when things that started to unravel in the previous 25 years, they are now really coming apart. Our authorities, our leaders can't even tell you what a woman is anymore. We are confused and things are breaking down. There's no trust in institutions or politicians. This is normal for a crisis phase, and that lasts about 25 years. We will be in this crisis phase till about 2030, when the cycle will begin again with a high, with that generation who's young at that time. They will create something new out of the ashes of the crisis that we're going through now. So just because a lot of people, the masses, are experiencing a crisis and having difficulty does not mean that we have to have difficulty in our own personal life. We can live a balanced life. We are not a statistic. The masses might have difficulty and be statistics in trouble, but we as women who are sovereign, we know the ways to keep our life more or less in order. It's not that we won't be touched by crisis. We probably will in some way, but we can still have fulfilling, abundant, blessed lives. And that's what we teach in the Queen teachings. So this time, as the light is brightening, this is about things that are bright in our life, that we wish to be brighter. Abundance, our money, our resources, our ability to live well and have everything we need. Our bodies, our mental state, balanced and healthy, the balance of light and dark. So these are the questions that we can ask during this fifth phase. What are my many blessings? Am I grateful for all that I receive? Do I live a balanced life? Do I treat my body well? If not, what one thing can I start doing or stop doing to take better care of myself? Do I manage my resources well? Do I understand that Source tends to give more to those who manage well what they already have? So meditate on these questions. Drawing yourself to a graceful conclusion. You can come back to this later on. We feel our deep, deep appreciation as we gather up all of our wisdom, as we bring this to a conclusion, letting the wisdom of this moment fully seat itself within your depths. Let your eyes fall closed. If you're willing, see yourself as a crowned queen, a sovereign woman, giving and receiving in balance, easily and gracefully, full to overflowing with your 5 powers of woman: the maiden, joyful, wild, free, for herself; the mother, loving, compassionate, nurturing, creative, birthing, caring for others; the queen, the leader, the visionary, the boundary holder, the one who sees what must happen for civilization to be whole and well; the wise woman crone, the library of humanity, the wisdom holder, full of peace and divine intelligence; the holy woman, Hagia, holy; the hag, the last stage, 85 to crossing, holding magic and mystery and the ability to renew herself, to go into the dark and renew herself, birth herself, her own self anew on the other side. This we are doing. You are overflowing with these 5 powers of woman. The sisterhood, joy, freedom of the maiden in you, the passion, creativity, and love of the mother in you, the vision, the gratitude, the boundaries of the queen in you, the wisdom, the peace, and the surrender of the wise woman in you, and the magic, the mystery, and the alchemy of the holy woman in you. Take this in, because this is truth. You are the best hope of humanity. You are the spiritual leader of life, and everything is ultimately a spiritual matter. You inspire others with your inner goodness, your power, your authenticity, your wisdom, your joy. You embody the power of woman to set things right again. Take that all in, for it is truth, it is wisdom. Those of you in the virtual circle, you will experience this next moment virtually, but take it in all the same. We express at the end of every ritual great gratitude to the ancestresses on this land for supporting us through our ceremony. Gratitude to the sisterhood, gratitude to our members, gratitude to our teachers and those we allow to lead us with wisdom. We libate them, and so we have a beautiful dark libation of juice, of natural sweetener, no alcohol, and some other magical things, some holy water that is clean. And we have prepared some for you. And our priestess is going now, you'll see her get up and go over to the libations. And first we drink. Blessed be. Priestess Gigi will rise and take the libations that are yours and pour them into a plant. This is what libation means, to pour onto the ground or into a plant. So not looking up, Priestess Gigi takes your libations out and in your name and pours these libations either onto the ground or into a plant. And just know that this is being done in your name. This is being done with the spirit of your energy for you, that you are part of this circle. So take that in and feel your gratitude for being part of a sisterhood, for being part of a circle of wise women who know what to do in times like these. We are the ones who know. And it appears to be complete. She's saying her own prayer for you. Priestess is completing her action. Blessed be. It is done. It is done. It is done. We are complete with the eclipse meditation. But ancient wisdom tells us the power of the event continues for up to 40 days. So continue to take advantage of that power by remembering that you are the divine matrix. Matrix means mother. So every time you hear that phrase from some new age person, divine matrix, what they are saying is divine mother, whether they know it or not. And mother means creator. So you are an expression of the divine matrix. Matrix means mother. Mother means creator. You are the creator here in this physical reality. You take your power to do so from the sacred dark, the womb of the universe, the quantum field from which all manifests into the light. So for the next few days, focus as much as you can on only what you want, only what you intend, only what you know that is already done, already done, already done in the quantum field before it manifests, precipitates into this dense reality. We are queens. We cultivate intelligent energy in our lives. You are queen. Walk in the world as the queen you are. Blessed be. Blessed be.